Most people think society collapses with explosions, riots, chaos, loud, dramatic, impossible to ignore. That's not how it actually starts. It begins quietly, subtly, and by the time you notice it, you're already inside it. Listen carefully, because these signs don't look dangerous at first. In fact, they look normal. That's exactly why they're deadly. The first sign is when small systems start failing, and nobody panics. You wake up one morning and your internet is slower than usual. Power cuts last a bit longer. Deliveries get delayed. At first, you shrug it off. But here's the thing, nobody tells you. Modern society is a tightly connected system, and even a 5% disruption can cascade into something much bigger. It's called systemic fragility. When supply chains rely on perfect timing, even minor delays create shortages, and shortages create behavior changes. People start buying extra just in case, which accelerates the problem. The method here is simple, but most people ignore it. Watch patterns, not events. One outage means nothing. Repeated disruptions, that's your early warning system. Start storing essentials quietly, not in panic, because panic buying is what collapses systems faster. Then comes the second sign. Trust begins to erode. Not all at once, but in layers. You stop trusting news, then authorities, then even neighbors. Society doesn't run on laws alone. It runs on shared belief that those laws matter. Once that belief cracks, cooperation disappears. And when cooperation disappears, survival becomes individual. From a psychological standpoint, humans are wired to follow social proof. If you see others ignoring rules or acting selfishly, your brain starts justifying the same behavior. It's a chain reaction. The survival insight here is counterintuitive. Become selectively cooperative. You don't isolate completely, but you build a small, reliable circle, a micro-community. Because in collapse scenarios, lone survivors burn out fast. Groups survive longer due to shared resources and distributed stress. The third sign is when prices stop making sense. You walk into a store and something feels off. Not just expensive, irrational. Essentials become unpredictable. One day they're available, the next day they're gone. This isn't just inflation. It's a breakdown in economic signaling. Prices are supposed to tell you how scarce something is. When they stop reflecting reality, you lose the ability to plan. And when people can't plan, they panic. This is where survival science kicks in. Your goal shifts from buying to securing. You don't rely on markets anymore. You create redundancy. Multiple ways to get food, water, and basic needs. Stored water, simple filtration, calorie-dense food that lasts, because once pricing systems fail, availability is the real currency. Now here's the one you cannot ignore. The fourth sign. This is where most people get it wrong. It's not violence, it's silence. When information starts disappearing, or becoming inconsistent, you are already in a controlled collapse phase. Communication networks don't just fail randomly, they degrade strategically, whether due to overload, censorship, or infrastructure breakdown. From a technical perspective, networks require stable nodes and continuous power. Disrupt either one, and information flow becomes fragmented. And when you don't have reliable information, your brain fills the gaps with fear or false assumptions. That's how people make deadly decisions. The method here is critical. Build independent awareness. Battery-powered radios, offline maps, pre-planned meeting points. Because when digital communication dies, analog knowledge becomes survival. This isn't theory. This is how military survival protocols operate when cut off from command. After that, the fifth sign creeps in. People stop following long-term thinking. Everything becomes short-term survival. You'll notice it in subtle ways. Maintenance stops. Infrastructure isn't repaired. People take risks they normally wouldn't. Why? Because the brain under uncertainty shifts into immediate reward mode. It's a biological response. Dopamine prioritizes short-term gains when the future feels unstable. But this creates a dangerous loop. The more people act short-term, the faster systems degrade. The survival move here is to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. While others consume, you preserve. While others rush, you plan. Even something as simple as managing your energy, your calories, your movement, this gives you an advantage most people don't realize until it's too late. And finally, the sixth sign, the moment when normal rules stop applying, but no one officially says it. You'll feel it before you see it. Emergency services slow down. Laws exist, but enforcement becomes inconsistent. This is where the illusion of order still exists, but the reality underneath has changed. From a systems perspective, this is called a phase shift. The structure looks the same, but its function is different. And that's dangerous, because people behave based on what they think the system is, not what it actually is. The method here is awareness without paranoia. You don't assume danger everywhere, but you stay alert to changes in behavior. You move smarter, avoid unnecessary risks, and most importantly, you stay adaptable. Rigidity is what gets people hurt in unstable environments. Now here's the uncomfortable truth tying all of this together. Collapse doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as inconvenience, as bad luck, as temporary problems. And most people wait for a clear signal that never comes. They wait for confirmation. By the time they get it, their options are gone. Survival isn't about reacting fast. It's about noticing early. Patterns, behavior shifts, system stress. These are your real warnings. Not headlines, not rumors. Reality leaves clues. The question is whether you're paying attention or not. And if you're still thinking this sounds extreme, let me put it simply. Every major collapse in history felt normal right up until it didn't. Subscribe to our channel to watch such videos.